Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Are you excited about tonight?
I am. I've heard a lot about the movie, so I'm really excited to see what it offers.
Have you ever done a race before or a marathon before?
No, right. So I've never done a race or a marathon. However, I just got into running about 5-6 weeks ago. It's something that I've tried in the past and hated it. And then I thought, I'm going to give it a go because I think there's a lot of promotion and talk about running and like running clubs are a thing now. So I'm like, let me give it another go. And so far it's been 5-6 weeks, which is longer than the 2 days I managed a few years back. So I think I'm doing all right.
How's your like when it comes to running? For me, I hate it. I'm trying to get back into it as myself. But how do you do it? Like do you have to just concentrate on your thoughts? What's your tips you would do?
So for me, it used to be music. I'd put on like some good like dance, hip hop, like that music that gets you going. Whereas now, and maybe I'm just getting old, so I'm like, a good podcast. Yeah. So I find that actually, and maybe that's what it is. Like I find that I run bare with a podcast. And something that's interesting because I think with a podcast, unlike songs which we can sing along, we hear them all the time. With a podcast, it's new information, so you're engaged in the conversation. And then I find that I'm not focused on the running as much because I don't enjoy it as much as other people do. I'm still early. I'm still new to it. So maybe check on me in a couple of months. I might have gotten into this swing of thing. But I think now that I've started to listen to podcasts on running, I found that I enjoy it more.
Is there any podcasts you can recommend?
So there is one from somebody called the Titty Gritty. And she's a breast cancer survivor and she's been doing brilliantly and she's somebody who I met quite recently, so I've been listening to a lot of her work, so that's been really good and just getting different experiences. Who else? I like the comment section, that's really good, because when I'm on social media, when I see a funny word, like we all do, straight to the comment section. So those are the two I'd say at the moment, but I'm always changing.
So with the cast for this film, they weren't used to a camera crew. So when you first started doing TV, what was it like with a camera crew in front of you? Did you find it awkward? For them, they were kind of like,
Yeah, I started out in radio. I did radio for years before I then went into TV. Now, of course, with radio, you can roll out of bed, no one cares, house slippers, and so you just focus on the subjects and the topic at hand and everything. Whereas with TV, it's the subjects, how you look, it's the light, it's your makeup, you're melting, and there's a lot of elements to it. So, but what I'd say, and I think maybe it's because I had a background in radio that it made it easier to transition in TV, but it was still daunting because I think we grew up watching TV from the minute we can see, right? And so we see people on TV, so for you to then it can be daunting. So I can completely understand that sort of fear of, oh my God, I'm on the telly. I get it.
Do you ever, obviously with your job profession as well, do you ever get people coming up to you asking you the craziest questions?
Oh baby, you should see my DMs. Oh my God. I could publish a book just from my DMs in terms of the questions. And of course, given the nature of what I do, naturally I expect it. And I must say, I'd say 7 out of 10 times they're genuine health questions and people are like, can you help? Which I love and that's great. And of course, social media is not the best place, so I always send more information and signposts to the right places. Or if it's something straightforward, I can answer. But there are some very naughty ones, as you can imagine. Yeah.
And then lastly, what can we expect from you for the rest of the year?
What's that?
What can we expect from you for the rest of the year?
So I was just talking to the girl just down there, and I was saying about where we've come with mental health as a society. 5-10 years ago, mental health was something that people shied away from. It's very much a personal thing, whereas now mental health is at the forefront. We're getting a lot more funding into the NHS with mental health services, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And for me, as a sex education, as a sex therapist, as a sex expert, my hope and dream is that we'll start looking at sexual wellness as part of our general health and well-being, and we get more funding. I know there was talk about, removing sex education from schools, which I don't agree with because sex education is an umbrella term, and under that it falls conversations about body autonomy, about consent, about how to have conversations and other things that go far beyond the physical act of sex. So I want to see more advocacy for comprehensive sex education in school and in society in general.
Amazing. Well, have a great night tonight and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.